All right, I'm here with Katie Garrett from Student Development. Katie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in there and in the office today. I actually feel
Yeah.
kind of normal. I got ready in the morning at home, and then I drove here, even with all the construction. It
Mm-hmm.
it felt normal. Like I walked in the back door, I
Yeah.
got in my office. We just don't have anybody around. It's kind of weird.
Yep. Yep.
So let's learn a little bit about you. I said your name is Katie. Well, why don't you
Mm-hmm.
introduce like yourself and what you do at Cornerstone, and then
Mm-hmm.
what brought you to Cornerstone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So my role at Cornerstone has evolved almost every year I've been here. um, I first started off as the resident director for Pickett Hall, and I did that for 2 years, and I loved it. I would not be anywhere other than Pickett Hall at Cornerstone. It's the most special building to me. Just working with freshmen, women, and walking through the transition of college with them is just the most fun thing. And then last year, I accepted the role to become assistant director of campus engagement, which is now morphed into the director role, which has responsibilities over CUSO, which stands for CU Student Offices, which is a hybrid team of leadership of students who are both student government and also student activities. I oversee the intramural program and then also help support commuters as well on campus. So it's kind of a hybrid role, but essentially the broad scope of what I do at Cornerstone is to think critically and help students specifically think critically about how to create opportunities for a vibrant sense of community on our campus. I want students to walk away feeling like they belong to something bigger than themselves. And sometimes that looks like throwing really fun events. Sometimes that looks like having lectures that engage us and help us to think in different and challenging ways. But whatever the case may be, just helping students feel like they belong to something during their 4 years here at Cornerstone. So that's kind of what my job is.
That all?
That's it. No big deal. I came to Cornerstone from Wheaton College outside of the suburbs of Chicago. I was in grad school there for 3 years, and during my last 2 years of grad school, I was a grad resident assistant, and so I had kind of a dual role between residence life. I lived in and served in upper class apartment buildings similar to our Crawford style housing, and then also served in campus ministries office where I helped facilitate our small group ministry at Wheaton.
Great. That's great. And since you've been here and you've obviously seen a lot of movement in student development, and especially with where you are now and the director of that role, and what are some of the events that you just think are really a good reflection of Cornerstone, a good reflection of what we want to do as a community? Give me one or two events that you just think are such a unique and cool thing to this campus.
Yeah. I think there's a couple per semester that come to mind immediately. Foremost is clearly Powder Puff. I think that's one of our longest standing traditions that we have continued going. And obviously
with Powder Puff, did you hear that the NAI, so we in Cornerstone Athletics are a part of the NAI, like not the NCAA, but the NAI. They just started women's flag football as one of their newest sports.
That's awesome.
And so I thought, hey, I sent it to Bob Sack, who oversees admissions, and I said, what do you think? What? And he goes, well, where would we recruit from in Michigan? And I said, every school has a flag football game or a Powder Puff game. So let's just go to every single school's homecoming week and make sure we're recruiting that event.
I think that's great.
If we had that, your Powder Puff game could become really serious.
Yeah. There are some girls. There's definitely a spectrum of girls and how they engage in Powder Puff. There's some who are there solely to make friends, build community, be part of the camaraderie, hope their team wins. But there are some girls who take it extremely seriously, and I would be terrified to play against them on the Powder Puff field. So you have some good options here at Cornerstone.
Right.
So that comes to mind. A couple others, obviously, Dancing with the Sections. That's probably one of our longest standing ones and one of the most popular events and unique. I know schools who have similar events like that, but I don't know any that have something like what we have here with Dancing with the Sections. And then I would say, mixed threads in the spring where we celebrate a lot of the cultures that are represented by students who are both from America, and then also students who are from other countries who are part of our community. I think that's really special. So yeah, probably those events come to mind first as hallmark events.
Awesome. What is your favorite thing about Cornerstone that's not necessarily in your specific area? What do you like about this campus the most?
Oh, well, so it's interesting since we've been navigating everything with COVID and its implications and everything like that, what my goal has shifted, and I think maybe it's something I took for granted that I'm realizing is how valuable it is to me, is the reason I think people choose Cornerstone over other schools is the community that we have here, which I know like I get to have a part in that, but it's so much bigger than what I do. When people graduate from Cornerstone, oftentimes what I hear our graduating students talk about is the community of friends they had, whether that was on their sports teams or in their residence halls or in the classroom with professors, whatever that may be. That is the hallmark. So I think, so what I've been reflecting on in coronavirus season is how do we kind of capture that still and make sure that we're staying true to who we are and being authentic to our community, because that's just, I would say the best part about Cornerstone is our community.
Well, and it's so different now too. I mean, our community is this, right? It's you on this screen, me on this screen, and having conversation through a computer, through a phone, through however that communication, and thankful to technology to keep us connected that way. I can't even imagine what this would be like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 80s and 90s without the internet really giving us the capability to stay connected. And I think from my standpoint, the intentionality of community, right? Like we focus on that from the day they step on campus, and you have a huge part as our kids move onto campus in the fall, and hopefully that looks as normal as we can make it this fall when they move on campus in the end of August. That's the start of it, right? As a community starts right then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been talking to a lot of students who are going to serve as O leaders in the coming fall, and not whenever, but oftentimes when I talk to them about what their favorite part about orientation was, it's often welcome day specifically, which is so surprising because that is an overwhelming day to come onto campus, to say goodbye to mom and dad in the same day. But they are so surprised by the sense of welcome they feel from our community and just this overwhelming sense of, we are so glad that you're here. So they often reflect on that really positively. And then the relationship they have with their terra firma or O leader, which I think just highlights, this is what we do at Cornerstone really well, is we build relationships with people immediately. Like you said, that's our goal.
Definitely. Yeah. All right, let's transition a little bit into some fun stuff. Even though that we could talk about student development
totally
all day. It is fun, but let's bring a little laughter in here. So you are stuck on an island with one person from your department that you work in. You only get one person for the rest of your life, Katie.
The rest of my life.
Who are you picking?
Okay.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Nobody. We're not. You could probably pick anybody in your department, but hey, you get one person today. That's all you get.
We work with a lot of really great people.
We do.
I would pick Lindsay Root, hands down.
Okay. Because she's an Ohio State fan.
She's an Ohio State fan. She has this unique ability to have fun in any situation she is in, and she's resourceful. So I feel like she would be able to keep us alive on a deserted island.
Are you saying you wouldn't be able to keep you alive?
No, I have no survival skills, so I'm very dependent on someone else. I would be willing to learn, but I do not come in skilled.
All right. So I'm the athletic director. So a little bit of sports in this conversation.
Okay.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
So in person versus like on TV. In person, football. I love to watch football. No, I take that back. I like to watch football on TV. I don't like watching sports on TV, but football I'll watch on TV, specifically Ohio State.
Definitely.
In person, baseball. I love going to baseball games.
You would not be in the majority there, I don't think. So But I just love the smell of a baseball game, like the grill
Mhm.
and the peanuts, and you
Mhm.
just get to sit back in your seat and just watch what's going on in nature, in creation, right?
Totally.
Because
I
you're out,
love
it's
my my sister and I have a goal of going to every MLB stadium at some point. So we have a good amount done. Some we've done separate, some we've done together, but I love going to baseball stadiums.
so it's so weird that you say that, and
Hmm.
because I've done all these interviews with some staff and some students around campus for the past probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I've always been in my house, and that's the Ohio State room. So we would have
Uh-huh.
some really good conversation in the Ohio State room. But
Mhm.
today I'm in the office, and back it's right over my shoulder here, right here. This map right
Uh-huh.
here is
Uh-huh.
a map of every Major League Baseball stadium in the
No
country,
way. Okay.
and then the check marks. I think they're the blue. The blue and the red are the American League and National League, and the ones that have
Okay.
check marks are the ones that I've been to. And so my sons and I, Kenan and Coleman, we are working on trying to get to every one of the stadiums. So when you say that, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
absolutely.
we had a full trip planned to New York this summer. I don't think we're going to be going,
Maybe not.
but because we're going to get both Yankees, the Mets, and Philadelphia done in one trip. So
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome.
it's not going to happen anymore. So
Yeah. Just delayed a year.
what is your favorite stadium that you've been to?
Well, there's like the nostalgic factor, and then there's like the really cool stadiums.
Hmm.
The nostalgic factor, I mean, Wrigley is just so good. And I was living in Chicago when they won the World Series, and that was the year I went to my first Cubs game. And so I went back in October, early on in the season or whatever. And that was so fun, or August, I don't know. Anyway, it was so fun. And I was in Wrigleyville. I was not in the stadium. I was in Wrigleyville when they won the NLCS, which was so cool. Just like one of those moments.
Did you sit in the bleachers when you went to the Wrigley?
Yes.
Oh,
I've done bleachers at Wrigley twice, and I've done a different, like a more first base side seat once.
Yeah.
But in terms of like cool factor, the Denver Rockies have a sweet stadium, and Milwaukee has a really sweet stadium. I think those two are probably like the cool factors in my mind.
Have you been to Pittsburgh?
Yes, I have.
Oh, gorgeous.
That's a cool stadium. We went when it was raining, but it was still a great stadium.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How about San Francisco? Have you been to 18?
I have not.
They call it Oracle Park now, is what I think.
Yeah. I haven't. My sister has, but that is, I hear, because it's like the outfield opens up to the bay, right? Yeah, that would be amazing.
It's pretty incredible. It's really, really incredible there. So bring a jacket. It's cold there, though.
Okay, good to know.
Even in July, it's cold.
Wow, that's surprising.
It's weird. All right, so your favorite sport to watch in person's baseball. Do you have a favorite player?
Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, Rizzo. Rizzo's fun.
Yep.
He's fun.
He's a fun dude, and his story is really cool. I mean, he overcame cancer to become a player, and so yeah, I'm just a big fan. And I feel like he's just one of those like goofy, fun guys.
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You like a specific kind of green or just green?
Like a forest olive green would probably be my favorite. Yeah.
Favorite number?
2.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah.
That's what I think of Derek Jeter every time. What is your favorite movie to watch?
My favorite all-time movie is called About Time. I highly recommend it to anybody. It came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's a great storyline. I think it hits all the things you want, where it's like inspirational. It's about a guy. The main story is about a guy and a girl, but then it also has this other theme about a guy and his dad and their relationship. So it's a pretty good movie.
Awesome. I have not heard of About Time, so I'll write it down.
Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix.
Okay. I'll make sure to try to watch it. What is your favorite meal?
Tacos, hands down.
Oh, Taco Tuesday. Did you have tacos yesterday?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I was about to say I kind of like made this bowl of food, and I was gonna say maybe it was kind of like a taco, but it also had like Brussels sprouts and broccoli. So I think I deviated away from the taco.
That's
But it definitely had like black beans and rice. Anyway, no, I did not have tacos yesterday.
But tacos are your favorite food. Where is there a
Yes.
specific restaurant that you like to get your tacos from?
I joke that honestly, Taco Bell tacos are so good. But if I'm going like bougie on my tacos, obviously Donkey Taqueria has delicious tacos. But during quarantine, we have discovered that Luna's does home delivery. We're like in their area of home delivery. And so we've done Luna's a couple of times, and their tacos are unbelievable. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's go a little bit more of a serious side. We'll
Okay.
go back to the serious side. So we're all in this thing. We're all separate, but we're all together in this thing, right?
Yeah.
What's a message that you'd like to send to the rest of campus, whether it's students, faculty, staff, about just ways to hang in there during this time?
Yeah. I think since this began, something that I have been trying to practice, and something I guess just been my kind of credo during this whole quarantine time, is trying to remember to practice grace for myself, that this is hard, and that this is something we've never done before. And so to hold expectations loosely, I think we all went into this time period trying to think of all the things we can do and accomplish in a few months of working from home or whatever. And I have found there are some things that I've had more time to do that have been really nice, but it's just a weird time. And so like, what does it look like to practice grace for myself? And using this time, I think, for maybe sowing some rhythms that I want back in my life that I haven't been able, oh no, did I lose you? There it goes. That I haven't been able to, that I haven't been able to always cultivate well, but then also practicing grace for other people. I think this is a season where fear is kind of predominant message right now. And I think that's okay. I think I've been hearing a lot of people kind of preach against fear. And I think I'd rather hear the message of like, it's okay to be kind of afraid right now, but like, how do you hold that intention with faith, that fear and faith can coexist a little bit? But I think fear has this tendency to make us more self-focused in a lot of ways rather than outward focused. And so I'm seeing a lot of people react kind of more based on self-protective measures rather than how can we be a generous community in this season. And so I think as much as it looks like practicing grace for yourself and like taking care of yourself well, but then also practicing grace for other people, recognizing that we're all trying our best and that no one knows the rules of how to do this well, and we're all trying our best. Those have been like my two things I've been trying to hold on to.
For sure.
Most.
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. Well, thanks for joining me today. This has been great. I think that what you do on this campus and what the inspiration that you're pouring into other kids and then having them lead and empowering them has been so inspirational to me. So keep doing it. Keep fighting the good fight, right? And I hope to, when we get back on campus in August, that we just keep that and keep going forward. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course.